It's been 3 weeks and I'm very sorry for that, but I have been obscenely busy since I've come back from my holiday, and I want to apologise to you all for the fact you've had to wait this long to see this ugly mug back on your screens. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Inside the Box, episode number 10. Morning, you beautiful people. It is Monday and we are back recording and filming the vlog. So we are heading up to Manchester now to go and look at the 4x4 anti-vandal modular building that we looked at in one of the previous episodes. Can't remember which one it was. I think it was like episode 7, something around that. Either way, go back, check them all out. Wow. May have just gone through a speed camera. Okay, so whilst we are driving up to Manchester, it just gives me a little opportunity to apologise for the fact that we've not been here for 3 weeks. Since returning from holiday, it has been unbelievably busy. Obviously, colleagues, brothers and sisters have had holidays themselves. So we've had a lot of work that I've had to keep on top of, and then also trying to get out and make sure I was filming and doing bits and pieces. Just got a little bit too much, a little bit overwhelming. So something had to give, and unfortunately, all the other stuff pays the bills. So I do want to apologise to you lot for not obviously getting something out for 3 weeks, but there is a lot of reasoning behind it. There's been a lot of work that I've had to make sure goes out and gets done. In that 3 weeks, though, we have got a lot of things done. We've obviously handed over the Stour Bridge, the Spilsby project. We've also delivered another 5-bay double classroom down to a school in Bridgewater in Taunton. Mick handled all that job. I'll put up some footage now of that one going in and sort of the job as a whole of what it's been, of how all that one came together. Right, so as you can see, awesome job that Mick did down there. The project really came together well. We've also had the CRM system that we're talking about. That's actually, we're going into training tomorrow for the CRM. So Ollie from Tech Care is coming up to oversee that. We chose which one we wanted. We're happy with our choice. We're going to sort of build out the full system and get trained on it, which is unbelievably expensive. But I'm hoping it's going to be a worthwhile investment, otherwise I'm likely to be getting fired. Just as a little sidebar to this whole previous conversation as well, the biggest development of all of this is I've finally got my car back. It has come back from the garage, it is here, my baby is back, the comfiest car in the world, my Mercedes, and I am extremely happy about that. It is what, over 10 years old now, but it is just the best. It's been with me through many sales, many road trips. It's let me down on numerous occasions, but you know, being back in Old Faithful it's a good feeling. It's confidence building. So I'm happy to have the old boy back, and you'll see a lot more of this thing in the coming weeks. Okay, so we've just finished up on site. There's the building behind the gates which we're moving out. We're going to be putting the crane just where my car is there, and then just down this line is where the 2 lorries are going to sit whilst they're waiting to be picked up and removed. But yeah, starting on Wednesday for the strip, and then Thursday and Friday for the removals, we'll be removing this 4x4, 4x4, not 4x4, and it'll be coming back to the depot. So heading back down to the yard now, gonna be getting the ground prepped up and the ideas for how we're going to implement this building into the yard, get the foundation sorted out, or we might put it down onto the ground first and then get the refurbishment done on it. I think that's probably a better way. Get the refurbishment done on it first, and then get everything set up and the existing containers and stores moved out the way, which means I've got some 20-foot containers available to go back into the hire fleet, which is good. Back to the depot. All right then, back in the depot, just gonna go and see everyone in the office, how they're getting on, what they're up to, and hopefully everything's going all right. Oh. Team, was Chris?
No,
there's some Chloe.
It was, and then once Rob did his thing, it went to that little strange icon.
Reenie's on the phone to Take Care again, her favourite people in the world, by the looks of it.
Take Care are my favourite people in the world.
There you go. Right then, computer's down there if you need that for the communicator. Right, and I'm gonna go out into the yard. Lads are still in their forklift training. Well, there's 3 of them. So 3 novices that are just working on the full 3-day course, and then we've got 3 experienced which are doing a refresher on Thursday and Friday. But on Blackpool Modular, which is the one that came back, which was this one, we are currently working on the full refurbishment. So we just stripped off the old roof blanket and we're putting a new Firestone, or not Firestone, a new rubber EDPM blanket on the top. That all got laid last week with new 15mm OSB to the roof. Connor is currently working on the inside at the moment. He's just getting the new plasterboard ceiling up. So Martin and Paul went round last week putting the new wiring in. So we've changed the way that it was previously done from the original manufacturer to basically just have all the wiring done the way that we normally do it. So they had a central void which ran all the way down the length of the middle of the building, but it just looks untidy when it's on site. So we're doing it our way. So brand new plasterboard ceiling going up, LED lights that's going on, and then we'll start working around the exterior walls to put a new vinyl face plasterboard on. I'll just turn you around. So the floors are actually really good in this building anyway. But we've put a new, is it 12 or 18mm? New 12mm plywood all the way across the floors. Obviously the bay joints will get sorted on site. All the windows were put in when we originally did the refurb, so they're all okay. But when we put the new vinyl face plasterboard on, we're going to do new plastic window reveals. Those vents will stay and they'll have new vent caps going in. We've refreshed a lot of the insulation in the roof as well. So all that's been done. those are the old, I don't know, where are they? Those are the old heaters which have now been taken off, and they will go back on if they're all still okay. If not, we'll swap them for new ones, because this building's going into our hire fleet again as opposed to the sales fleet. So we won't be putting aircon on there just to, unless the customer wants aircon, who's going to be taking it. The connector blocks for the electrics now, we've built 2 trap hatches. So one will be here, one will go there, with the fire rated trap hatches there. So when they're on site, the lads will just be able to connect the electrics nicely. But yeah, another project coming on nicely. So in the Telford project, we had taken a couple of weeks off due to the project being pushed back now to going in on the 24th, 25th of September. So we prioritised obviously the Stairbridge project, the Spilsby project and things like that. But since then, we've now built all the walls down to the other end of the building, which you hadn't seen. So I'll just give you a bit of a walk around and a tour on that now. So this is now sort of the 2s to 3s area, which stretches from the babies area over there, which was built previously. There's all the, these are all the kitchen units from Howden's to build. There's like 5 or 6 different kitchen areas or small low-level sink areas. So all of these have now been delivered, and we're going to start installing these from Monday next week. Yeah, so I think a week today. So this, all of those units are all just kitchen units. All of the worktops are down here. Ray's also built, so they're having a sleep area for the babies. This is the 0 to 2's room. This is also new. They're basically going to be putting small beds either side for the children, but we're getting the clients up here to check that it's the right size before we get everything plasterboarded up. So you can see the lads' nice sign there, do not board yet. It's always good to be clear. So yeah, once we've had the clients up to have a look at it, we just want to make sure that that's the right size for them. We've used a 6x2 timber just to make sure there's enough rigidity in the walls because they are freestanding. So used a thicker timber and drove them straight down into steel chassis below. You've seen all those rooms previously up that end, but let's go and have a look down here. IPS paneling is coming in this week, but we haven't put those in. That won't be in until it's site fixed. Paul's in the storeroom just doing the electrics now. But yeah, basically down there we've got a store cupboard off that door. In here is going to be one of the kitchen areas. So this is the main area between the 3 to 5 year olds and the 2-year-olds. This one is a small toilet area into the 2 to 3 year old sleep room, which has got an external door which will lead out onto the back side of the building. In here is another store cupboard for the sleep area. Going back out into the main area, we have then got staff room. So this is going to be the staff area. I think there's a little kitchen area in here with sofas, etc. This is the laundry room. So we'll have washers, as you can see from the sockets, and then a worktop to go across the top for them to be able to put all the sheets, the bedding, any clothes, etc. for the kids. This area in here is going to be the commercial kitchen area. So we had, you can see we've got the OSB all the way around it, which we'd obviously put in for the pattressing. But we had started boarding it with the vinyl face plasterboard, but since talking to the installers of the hygienic wall cladding, we need to take that back off now because they prefer to bond directly onto the OSB. So what we might have to do is put a second layer of OSB, because directly behind this wall here is the sleep room for the 2 to 3 year olds. So we want to make sure that there's enough sound retention. So we'll take the plasterboard off and put another layer of the OSB on the outside, but we've also then put acoustic insulation into this wall just to improve the sound retention. In here is the toilet area for the staff. So there's a changing bench going down here, and then there's toilets going up there. So we can see we've got the ventilation runs for the fans, which go directly through the ceiling board, through the ceiling void, get my words out right. And the obviously we're going to close off all the top once all the electrics are in. There's another fan to this area just going out of there. So obviously the air circulation's been calculated, and the air will be changing enough. So yeah, that's that area. There's a lot been going on sort of in the couple of weeks that we've been down. We're back heavily on this project now, and the guys have been doing some awesome work, as they always do. So this is the area where the 4x4 from Manchester is going to go. This is sort of currently all of our material storage. So we've got screw shed, plumbing supplies, plastics, timber, and then down to the paint shed at the bottom. So we're going to completely take out all of these containers, put those back into storage, and then the bottom floor of the 4x4 is going to become our store area, alongside 40-foot containers that we've got further down in the yard. And then the top story is going to replace this side of things. So these are the old offices that we were going to change into the staff room, but we're going to take these out, refurbish them and put those back into stock, and then we're going to have the 2-story building up here. So top story is going to be staff room, classroom, kitchenette, toilets for all the guys, and then the bottom story is all going to be sort of an open plan workshop and material storage area. It's going to be good because obviously the paints and things that the plastics, they're quite susceptible to the cold. So we're going to put some low level heating into the workshop area as well, which is going to improve all that. So these are 6 metre deep containers at the moment. So we're going to gain another 4 metres worth of storage space, and then obviously where these units are, we are going to gain either more storage space for units, expand the show area which we're building to the back of the office, because we're also going to be developing the front of the yard, so that when we bring in the 2-story marketing suite as the new office, which is right down at the back of the yard up there, once that's all refurbished, we're looking at possibly siting that on the front of the yard. And then I've been toying with the idea of whether we look to do a self-storage depot with the remaining space, or even just expand the extra storage we've got, so that our fence line runs down there at the moment, but we then own all this area here and this side over here. So we're thinking we could put the new sales office in this area, so the 2-story office there, get rid of the new office that we've currently got. That's took us 3 years to get, but even so, we're hoping to be expanding in the near future. Or we could turn this area into, say, a self-storage depot. So 20-foot containers, 10-foot containers worth of space. In fact, we could do that on both sides. But at the moment, we're sort of more looking towards using it for office and car parking, getting the cars from out of the yard into this area, which is far better for interfacing with customers. But we'll see. It's all plans of what we can do anyway. Yeah, let me know what you think. Big 2-story office, which will look pretty awesome right in this spot, or maybe diversifying and moving into, say, a bit of a self-storage type business, which does complement kind of what we do quite easily. It's really good access onto the road, and there's always people looking for storage area. Or we could always possibly look at segregating and creating 2 separate compounds, and maybe subletting them off to other businesses that may require a modular office. I suppose, I mean, that's a pretty good idea. So we could put a small office block on there, something like that one, and then sublet it to a small business that's just looking for somewhere to work from. Load of options. Anyway, I've got work to do, so back in the office. Alright guys, as we reach the end of Monday, it's been a good day. Obviously, Manchester this morning, got back to do some more work in the office. The lads have had a good first day on their forklift course. I spoke to the assessor and they've all passed their theory test, which is always nice and good to know. Practical tests obviously tomorrow, so just making sure the guys are all good and sorted with that. Some nice inquiries have come into the office today, and it's good to see that the new CRM system's collecting all that data. So that's pretty cool. Everyone's back in training again tomorrow for the CRM. But yeah, other than that, pretty steady, good day. We're also obviously planning what we might be doing with the development on the front, development in the yard for the storage, etc. But you've seen all that part of things, so we'll bring that to you over the coming weeks and days and months, however long it might take. We've got plenty of ideas of what we want to do and what we think might be best. But as always, those ideas will probably change, no doubt, over the coming weeks. But yeah, it's good to be back. We've enjoyed it. Everything's settled down. I've got everyone back now, sort of in the office. Not so much now; they've all sodded off home. But obviously everyone's back in at the moment. We've got a couple of holidays coming up. So for Monday, good night, and I will see you tomorrow for Tuesday. Good morning, it is Tuesday, and it looks like it's going to be another absolutely fantastic day. I don't know how much of you saw of that then. Going to be another absolutely fantastic day in Britain. Today we are heading up to the Spilsby project. I've got a meeting with building control. But I've just realised I've left the drone in the depot, so I'm going to go nip up there first, go and pick that up, and then it's off up to Spilsby. I say meeting building control, going to have a walk through the building, check that they're happy with everything, go through all the certificates that we've provided for this project, have a look at the overall finish, get you guys some videos, get you guys around the building so you can see exactly what it came from in the yard, which you've already watched, to how it looks like when it's finished on site. So that's going to be something I'm looking forward to bringing you. Hopefully we might be able to catch up with the customer if he is on site, but if not, at least you'll see one of our finished products. And then later in the week, I'm going to try and get down to the Stour Bridge one as well, just to show you exactly what's going on down there. So whilst the sun is shining, let's go and make some money. Going to be pretty epic soon when all of this road is done. So my customers have got a lovely smooth road to come down. Obviously you saw last night about us developing that side and that side. Let me know which one of my ideas you think is best. There's young Michael on the forklift. Oh, let's go and get the drone, and then 2.5 hour drive up north. Alright guys, we have made it up to the Spilsby project now. I've just met with building control, gone through the building. She's more than happy with how everything's looking. Just got to do the procedural stuff now, send the certificates over, just for the electrics and the mains, power and stuff. But let's show you around the building. So because this building is set onto World War II extremely thick runway concrete, we use the jack pad system. for the foundations. So the jack pad lads came up and got all that sorted, got that done in basically an hour in the morning. Absolutely brilliant system for just getting the foundations down. Building control that we deal with, love the project as well. Obviously the ground was tested by them, everything was fine. It's just a really efficient way of being able to put the foundations down for the building, and if ever it was to be moved in the future, they're obviously very easy to pick up and reuse. So again, it's a sustainable foundation as well. So I always think it's good at this time to just give you guys a reminder of how it looked when we started this project. Obviously how it looks now when it's finished. Okay guys, that's me done up at Spilsby now. I think you can agree it does look pretty good, and it's your first look at basically taking a building all the way from conception and the initial refurb to getting it in on site, getting it put in, and obviously all bits in between. So I hope you like the look of it. If you do, let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you back at the depot in a bit. Okay, so you just saw a time lapse of the guys working in the Blackpool Modular, or what was the Blackpool Modular. I've got to think of a different project name for it now. But we're going to slightly tweak the layout to what I thought we were going to do on it when we got in there originally. Is that measuring it now, it doesn't quite do what we want for a standard teaching space in sort of the standard double classroom layout. So the guys have obviously got all this, well, not all this back wall, they're working through this back wall here. New ceilings have gone in. But originally we were going to do it as what is our standard double classroom layout. So as you come through the front door, you'll have a lobby area and then 2 teacher store cupboards, one for this classroom, one for that classroom, one for this classroom, and then one for that classroom. But that's not going to work. So it only gives us 50 square metres per classroom, which is all right for a smaller school. But obviously most of our clients are mainstream. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put a centre wall straight down. We're going to block up the existing front door, and then we're going to cut one door in this side and a door in this side, so that each classroom then measures 55 square metres. These ones are only 7.8 metres deep as a whole, 15 metres long. So we'll then have the 55 square metres. So the only thing, this particular block then won't have the internal teacher store cupboards, but it will have the required space. So a little bit of a compromise, but it does give us a different option to be able to offer a school, and it will come in at a fractionally cheaper price point as well, which obviously is great for everybody's budget at the moment. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Wednesday and I am back on the road again, this time heading to Kent, and then I'll probably swing back into London after that just to go and see another couple of clients. But we are heading down. We are going to I'm going to meet my ground worker at a site down in Kent. It's a project that we've quoted for that has now been moved into a tender for a 10-bay classroom. So we're shooting down there to go and have a look. Meeting the ground worker down there just so he's got a full scope of what's involved with being able to prepare the foundations and to be able to get the infrastructure into the ground, give me a cost for that, which then obviously we can submit as part of the tender. Okay, so we're down at the Kent job, just measuring up. It's a 10-bay modular building. We're going to be looking at going on top of this mound. Those 3 trees, unfortunately, are going to be right in the middle of where we're going to put the building, but we're either going to plant new ones or relocate those to where they've got to go. So yeah, this is sort of what one of our site meetings and visions actually look like when we're down here.
Yeah, well, I've got, well, yeah, there'll be enough. They're erecting it, hopefully I've got to get an erection zone.
So when we're looking at the jobs, obviously we've got to consider one, where the building's going, how the groundworks and the foundations are going to work, but also where the path and the access to the building is going to go. Obviously with the regulations that we've got to meet for DDA access or just access in general with the paths, that's got to be taken into consideration, but also how we're going to get rid of the rainwater. So the client's looking at a soakaway, so just exactly where we're going to put the soakaway, where the electrics are going to be coming from, which is out to this plant room over here, so which is going to be the most direct run to get the services to site without sort of causing too much upset. Lot to consider, so we just want to make sure that we can put the best package forward that we can for the client, which is obviously going to be the most economical, which generally drives most of the tenders these days. You know, we all need to save some money somewhere, don't we? Alright guys, so we've just finished up on the site meeting down in Kent. It looked a little bit like an MPBA, which is our association meeting. There was that many different portable building companies down here, but when it's an open tender, that's probably something that you've got to expect. So yeah, good to see some industry colleagues, acquaintances. I suppose it's just going to be who can provide the best price now and the best package for the job. So let's get back onto, well, say back. I've got another site to go and visit now, and then back into the depot. Good morning. It's Thursday. I'm in the car, but I'm only heading to the office, so I'm not out on the road today. I have got an absolute stack of quotes and tenders to write. I actually made a start on it last night, but didn't finish it till 3 o'clock this morning. So I'm feeling a little bit tired, but there's a lot to do. There's a lot that I've got to get sent out. So this morning, the guys are up in Manchester, which is where I was supposed to be, to go and film the uplift of the top floor of the Manchester modulars that we're taking out and bringing down. We've got Steve and my dad. They're down in Brockton, ready to take that modular and offload the top floor in Brockton, ready for refurbishment. And then we've got the rest of the guys up in the Hickson depot who are waiting for the ground floor, which is going to be coming in tomorrow. So plenty going on again today. I'm going to get you some nice footage of what the lads are up to, what they're working on, how the modulars and the jobs have been progressing whilst I've been out for the last few days. So yeah, it was a bit of a heavy mat day yesterday, so I'll try and get you back with the guys today. And then it's funny looking fire engine. And then I will obviously talk you through some of the jobs, some of the quotes that we're working on at the moment. Obviously we've got the tender to write up for the job that we went down to see yesterday. I can do all the building side of things. I've just got to wait for our ground worker Graham to send me the information on the groundwork costs. So plenty going on. Let's get to work. Let's get it done. Okay, so I've just shot down to the Brockton depot. I wanted to sit down and have a chat with my dad about some of the prices that I'm going to be quoting up and the methodology that I'm going to be doing for some of the jobs. But while we're down in Brockton, we are starting the Brockton regeneration program, and the first stages of that is getting rid of some of the old tat, etc., that we've got down in this yard, clearing up the space. Obviously, you know, we've got the top story coming in from Manchester, but the main thing is getting some of the old steel units, some of the old skips, bits and pieces like that out of here now, and making way for the good stock that we're going to do. We're also then going to convert this modular into a 2-on-2, so that's going to become the welfare facilities and the store for this depot, and then we're going to be able to basically start prepping it up for holding all of the construction stores, the anti-vandal offices, because we really want to start targeting some small house builders and things along those kind of lines to provide the welfare facilities for their site. So yeah, it's going to take a hell of a lot of work down here to get it ready, but you've got to start somewhere, haven't you? You've got to get it going. So yeah, plenty to do. And look, oh, my neighbour's got his grab wagon out. Okay, the Oracle has been consulted. He knows my pricing, he agrees with the ideas and the methodology, so I've just got to go and write up these couple of jobs now, and then these guys are going to stay down here and wait for the top story of the 4-on-4 coming down. I'm going to head back up to the depot, go and say hello to everyone in the office and in the yard up at Hickson. See you up there. morning. It is Friday, and as you've seen from the little bit of footage before you got greeted with my ugly mug, we had a bit of fun watching a hot air balloon travelling near the yard this morning. So that was some quite dramatic photos. We have got Steve Foster's in this morning with Steve the driver, just there. Look at that handsome smile. So this is the 70-ton crane today. So we're going to be landing the ground story of the 4x4 from Manchester. The top story got landed in Brockton yesterday. I'm still not actually quite sure if Steve got me any footage, as I've not edited this yet. I may be able to add that in now. If not, we are going to be sticking the ground floor in this space over here. Plenty going on. I'm off to Telford now. I'm going to go and meet a client to talk about one of our refurbished modular buildings. So this one's only going to be like a single modular section. They want to use it as a gatehouse. We've previously done one before. Sorry, not as a gatehouse, as a weighbridge office. So we've previously done one for a company up in Stoke, which they saw, and they really like that one, and they want one very similar. I don't know if they're going to go with the timber cladding or whether they go with the plastisol steel, but I'll just show you the sections of how they look at the minute. It's the same section type or manufacture that we use for Telford, for the Stourbridge project, and for the Spilsby project. So as you know, there's plenty of wonderful and magical things that we can do with those sections. Quieten down my phone for a second. So these are the units in question. So these are the 7.2 metre frames, which again came down from Newcastle. So it'll be one of these ones. The ones next to it, those ones are the 8.4 metre frames, so 28 feet, 24 feet, 28 feet, depending if you prefer metres or feet. And then we've also got some 9.6 metre sections, which is just that window there. So we've got 3 of those, 3 28s, 6 24s, and we've still got 15 sections of the 12 metre sections left as well. So if you are considering having a look at a modular office for one of your projects, and we've got plenty of different buildings in stock that you'd be able to choose and have a look at. It's time to get to Telford. I will show you what we've got going on up there. Okay, so we just finished on the site up in Telford, looking to get a weighbridge office from us. Pretty straightforward process. They've got a groundworks company that are providing all of the civils and the foundations. They've got an electrics company that are providing all of the power, the data. So for our point of view, nice and easy project. Just got to get the building constructed for them. 7.2 metres by 3 metre section, timber clad, fully prepared. It's going on to a brand new development site, so it's going to be a nice one for us again to get a good showcase unit out there. Back to the depot. See you down there. Okay, so on the way back from Telford, thought, you know what, why not, let's go and swing into our Brockton depot and just have a little route around and go and have a look at the top story of the 4x4 that we bought in. That's going to go through refurb. It's pretty tight, the spot that they've actually put it in. So this is it. It actually look at this. It's been in here a day, and the guys are already making a start on the filling, getting it sanded back. So it looks like they desperately want to move into their new staff room. So the overall building size is 10 metres by I think 12.3. With the gaps. So they're almost individual cabins, originally manufactured by AV Danza. So you can see sort of how they they fit together. And what they've got between them is sort of like a metal sheath. There you go. So you see those two steels there? There's basically a metal sheath that goes on those L brackets up on top. Let me see if I can zoom you in. Those L brackets on top, up there. And then basically it's finished off with like a flashing, just to keep it watertight. But yeah, 4 individual cabins that sort of open up to make a modular space. Double glazed windows. They've got the shutters on as well, which obviously offers us some level of security in the yard. Pretty good on the outside. I say it looks like Steve's made his start on the refurbishment. Very nice. So these were on site on Manchester Airport. They were actually there building fabrics departments units. So very similar to what we're going to use it for. There's their staff room. We're going to keep it the same. Let's see if the lads have kept it open so that we can have a look inside of what space they've got. Yeah, so obviously going in there, it's there's absolutely no daylight, so you're not going to be able to see anything inside the units. Okay, so I am back up in the Hickson depot now, but my day took a little bit of a different route after the leaving Brockton. We got a phone call from one of our clients who we tendered a job for that we really thought we were going to get. It was for the 16 bay building, which is the one that we took out of Stafford. Now, it's been kicked around for a few weeks, this job, and then obviously it went to a tender process, and we thought, awesome, we're going to get this one. We knew we'd got the building in. It was a very tight tender, and I don't know how many other modular companies we were up against, or whether it was just a different type of infrastructure, and I thought we were going to get this one, but unfortunately they just couldn't get the funding that they needed to see the whole job through. So I had to go back. I went back home actually, went and worked from there for a couple of hours, just trying to see if there was any other way around that we could maybe help them out, but there just wasn't an option, unfortunately, where we could get the help them with the funding, help them with the structure of the finances, without leaving them with a too much risk, essentially. So it was a bit of a wounder, because I did think that we were going to get that one, but never mind. Anyway, back in Hickson, this is the ground floor of the Manchester. So this is the bottom floor. Now this is the one that we are going to turn into the workshop. So the whole building is open plan. I know Steve got some footage of you as it was being craned in whilst I was off site, but the building is the same size obviously as the top story, but yeah, completely open plan. Now the guys have got some awesome plans. They're all very excited about what they are going to be able to do to this to make the space their own. Obviously, again, it's a very secure unit, so when they've got tools and materials, oh, there you go, look. This one's already been opened up. So the good thing is we've got this this entrance here. So we've got the double container doors. secure doors. So obviously as we're getting in the heavier machinery, the bigger machinery, any of the saw benches that they might want to put in here, etc., we've got really big access doors to get in here. And then yeah, essentially the Manchester guys had got this internal partitioning, get my words out, inside, but I don't think we're going to keep any of this. I think we're just basically going to open the whole thing up, get all the electric stripped out, and really make this place our own to function how we want it to. Get all of the mastics, the corks, the silicon, everything along those kind of lines in here with some low level heating so that everything stays fresher and nicer. The same with the plastics. If you leave plastics out in the sunlight, if you leave it in the cold, they'll get brittle, so that when you come to use them, they will crack. That is the original staircase that was up in Manchester as well, so we're going to repurpose that and use that as well. So, you know, it's going to be an awesome functional space. We've got some work that we've got to do. Don't know if you can see here, just a little bit of a soft spot. For those of you wondering why I'm not in my high vis or wearing my Converse, it is just purely because I'll come back up here about 6 o'clock at night, so there is only me here. But yeah, looking forward to getting in here and making this space our own, just do the little bits of refurb work that we need to do. So I've been gone sort of most of the morning. Obviously you saw the video that I did of the hot air balloon when I got here at about 7 o'clock this morning. God knows what time those guys must have been up in the air, by the way, to be able to have had that hot air balloon up, launched, and then be on the way back down. But either way, I say it was about, I think it was about 7:30 when we recorded that video. So they were obviously up very early and getting in the air. But that was the last time I was in the yard. Then over to Telford, back to Brockton, a couple of hours at home doing the work on that tender. And in that time, the guys have got all inspired, and we had a delivery of cladding for the London project. That is no more the London project because of the planning permission getting turned down. So there is the cladding. There's another pallet of it somewhere. And look what the guys have been up to. So these were the two elevations that are obviously getting clad by the guys. You can see how nice of a finish this would have been for the school. So two elevations again of the thermo wood cladding, the same as we used on the Telford project, and then two of the plastisol steel. So plastisol, thermo wood cladding. And just because I am a salesman, obviously we didn't get planning permission on the London school, so this building is available. But there are two people looking at it, so if you are interested, you might need to get in a little bit sooner. Let me just show you what we were doing on the inside as well. So obviously this was a full refurb building, all brand new plasterboard, all brand new electrics. The guys have just come in to fit the kitchenette into here as well, and then we've now installed the children's heights cubicles in here as well. I'm not sure the plumbing's been done yet. Oh, it has. Junior height pans. So anybody who knows a school or a nursery that are looking for a very high quality building, which has got a, top of my head, 50 square metre classroom and 2 junior toilets, or I think actually, no, sorry, they're infant toilets. So they are set up for younger children. Then give them a shout on that building. Anyway, bit of a disappointing end to the afternoon, but then coming in and seeing how hard the guys are working to get that sort of space done. Obviously landing the Manchester 4-on-4, that's awesome. But it also does bring us to the end of our weekly vlog. It has been fantastic to be back on your screens. I really appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in again. I'm sorry that it took 3 weeks to get to get a video back to you, but it is really hard to try and manage all this and run the business whilst I've got other members of staff off as well, so I do have to pick up other areas. I'm sure there's a lot of you small business owners can sympathise with that. But we're back. We'll be back again next week for episode number 11. But if I could ask you, if you'd be good enough to possibly consider hitting the like button, leave me a comment down below, and maybe consider subscribing to the channel, it would mean a lot to us. We are getting so close now to 500 subscribers. I think we're at around about 470, 468 or something like that at the moment. So if we can have that little push just to get us to the 500, it would be greatly appreciated. Guys, you've been beautiful. Thank you very much for tuning in. Click here to subscribe to the channel, and click here to watch the last episode, but it wasn't last week. And I nearly forgot what I had to do there. That's how long it's been, how out of practice I am. Look at my new workshop. It's beautiful. I'll see you next week in episode number 11.